Good morning. It is Thursday, the 4th of February 2021. I'm Dave Robinson, and this is the latest in a series of vlogs that I'm completing around Crohn's cancer, bowel cancer, particularly actually, IBS, colitis, all of those sort of symptoms or diseases that people have. This morning I wanted to talk about Stoma Care. I know that some of you perhaps expected my next vlog to be the second part of my journey from Crohn's to cancer, and I certainly will be doing that. Excuse me, but yeah, in the interim, I just wanted to do this because I've had some new products arrive this morning that I think that some of you, that suffer similar and certainly have got an ileostomy or stoma or whatever, may benefit from. So I know that I haven't uploaded anything for a few days, and the reason being I just wanted to give you an update in terms of my progress is that I've been in quite a lot of discomfort and pain, and the reason for that is that I've been wanting to just go to the toilet normally, and as you will be aware from other vlogs that I've done, the plumbing down there is disconnected. I have talked about this a little bit before, these phantom pains that I get, and I would say that I'm getting them now quite on a regular basis, fortnightly, and I'm spending a lot of time on the loo. So particularly yesterday, spent an awful lot of time on the loo, sort of, I don't know, afternoon, evening, and to be honest, what I do is I get the iPad or whatever and I just sit it near the loo and I'll watch that because I'm on the toilet for a long time. So that's been rather uncomfortable, but I found out this morning from Louise at the Spires Hospital in Leicester, where I'm getting treated for my chemo, the reason for that. She's been really helpful. So I believe that she was part of a colorectal team before she transitioned into the chemo unit. So big shout out to Louise this morning. You've been really helpful. So what it is, it's called a mucus plug. The best way of describing that is that although my plumbing's disconnected down there, I will still produce mucus, and if I'm not passing it, it builds up and it literally forms a plug. So as you'll recall from some of the other videos that I've uploaded, my particular cancer, my bowel cancer, is in the sigmoid area, and it's causing pretty much a blockage down there, which is another reason that I've had this ileostomy. So trying to pass this plug, as you can imagine, is quite painful, and what I'm finding is I'm probably passing a little bit, very little bit at a time, and that's the reason that it's painful. As I've described it before, bit like trying to pass camel through an eye of a needle, but at least I know. And again, in my head, it's another coping mechanism. But she's been equally as helpful in terms of, so, well, what can we do about it? How can we help you? And she's basically said, well, why don't you just try some pelvic floor exercises? Strengthen those muscles around that area. That may help. So I'm certainly going to do that. My wife's just come back from a walk and we've just been talking about it, and she said, why don't you have a bath? Good idea. Got some muscle relaxant bath suds, so after this I'm going to have a bath and see whether that helps as well. Yeah, it's hopefully it'll pass in the next day or two, but that's been causing me not to sleep very well, to be honest. I haven't really slept well since my my last chemo, but I still got my positive pants on. Yesterday I went for a walk with a mate, and had a really lovely walk actually. It's great just to share. What I didn't realise is, although he's a good mate, he suffers from IBS, and I didn't realise that. So we're kind of sharing toilet stories. He's a little bit similar to me in that when he's got some stuff going on, he sits on the loo, and he can be on the loo for an awful long time. We're not talking a few minutes, we're possibly talking a couple of hours or more. So a bit like me, he's watching videos on the loo. So I'm sure there's a lot of people out there that can relate to that. So yeah, toilets become our best friend. So I think the point I'm trying to make as well is that there are so many people with irritable bowel syndrome. Sorry, I said IBS earlier, and clearly not everybody listening to this will understand what that is. So it's irritable bowel syndrome. So, that can lead to various things, as I described, like colitis, ulcerative colitis, those kind of things, and Crohn's in particular as well. And this morning, just to try and take my mind off things, I've done a bit of baking. So another shout out here, and that's Lorraine Pascal. If you go on the BBC website, another shout out. Great recipe that's for flapjack on there. I know it's good because you might be able to hear in the background there's some builders next door. They've been here for a few months, completely gutting the house next door. Great bunch of guys. There's a guy called Nick. I didn't realise he's a bit of a flapjack guru. So they very kindly came round a few days ago and helped me out because some of the bit of decking that I've got had rotted, and they were really kind of sorted it out. So in kind, made them nice Nespresso coffee. Another shout out for Nespresso, and gave them some flapjack. Well, Nick, I saw him probably the following day, and he said to me, "You know what? That's the best flapjack I've ever tasted." Well, he's the guru, so it must be good. Well done, Lorraine. I digress again. But yeah, that just baking this morning kind of took my mind away from stuff, and yeah, takes it away from the pain and that. I'm beginning to feel a little bit more comfortable as the day's gone on, and hopefully, yeah, it'll pass. So, coming back to this Stoma Care and the products, I'm rubbish technically with this stuff. I've been trying to flip the camera and I can't, so I'm going to have to break it into two parts. So forgive me. I'm going to end it here, and we will move on to the Stoma Care in part 2. See you in a bit.